Hello friends, you are on the channel Quotes of Great Men. Enjoy watching. Only the wounded physician heals. Science has destroyed even the refuge of the inner life. What was once a sheltering haven has become a place of terror. The meaning and design of a problem seem not to lie in its solution, but in our working at it incessantly. While personal problems are not overlooked, the analyst keeps an eye on their symbolic aspects, for healing comes only from what leads the patient beyond himself and beyond his entanglement and the ego. The separation of psychology from the premises of biology is purely artificial, because the human psyche lives in indissoluble union with the body. The underlying, primary psychic reality is so inconceivably complex that it can be grasped only at the farthest reach of intuition, and then but very dimly. That is why it needs symbols. If only simplicity were not the most difficult of all things. It consists of watching objectively the development of any fragment of fantasy. The longing for light is the longing for consciousness. The world of gods and spirits is truly nothing but the collective unconscious inside me. We do not know whether Hitler is going to found a new Islam. He's already on the way. He is like Muhammad. The emotion in Germany is Islamic, warlike, and Islamic. They are all drunk with wild God. That can be the historic future. Who has fully realized that history is not contained in thick books, but lives in our very blood? If a union is to take place between opposites like spirit and matter, conscious and unconscious, bright and dark, and so on, it will happen at a third thing, which represents not a compromise but something new. We are a psychic process which we do not control, or only partly direct. Consequently, we cannot have any final judgment about ourselves or our lives. When you come to think about it, nothing has any meaning, for when there was nobody to think, there was nobody to interpret what happened. What usually has the strongest psychic effect on the child is the life which the parents have not lived. The maintenance of secrets acts like a psychic poison which alienates the possessor from the community. Even if the whole world were to fall to pieces, the unity of the psyche would never be shattered. People learn from who we are, rather than what we say, and to believe otherwise is a disease of the mind. Never diagnose a client until after their therapy is over. One cannot live without inconsistency. The mandala is an archetypal image whose occurrence is attested throughout the ages. It signifies the wholeness of the self. This circular image represents the wholeness of the psychic ground, or, to put it in mythic terms, the divinity incarnate in man. Nature has no use for the plea that one did not know. You can exert no influence if you are not susceptible to influence. The general function of dreams is to try to restore our psychological balance by producing dream material that reestablishes, in a subtle way, the total psychic equilibrium. There's no birth of consciousness without pain. Criticism can be effective when there is something that must be destroyed or dissolved, but it is capable only of harm when there is something to be built. Our unconscious is the key to our life's pursuits. The judgment of the intellect is, at best, only the half of truth. Every civilized human being, whatever his conscious development, is still an archaic man at the deeper levels of his psyche. New ideas are not only the enemies of old ones, they also appear often in an extremely unacceptable form. Projection of our own shadow makes the whole world a replica of our own unknown face. In fact, the whole of mythology could be taken as a sort of projection of the collective unconscious. The apparently unendurable conflict is proof of the rightness of your life. A life without contradiction is only half a life, or else a life in the beyond, which is destined only for angels. But God loves human beings more than the angels. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own soul. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. A special ability means the heavy expenditure of energy in a particular direction, with a consequent drain from some other side of life. Meaning makes a great many things endurable, perhaps everything. No psychic value can disappear without being replaced by another of equivalent intensity. It is sad but unfortunately true that man learns nothing from history. Music is the application of sounds to the canvas of silence. Creative power is mightier than its possessor. The pendulum of the mind alternates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. At the heart of all mental illnesses is an unwillingness to experience deserved suffering. Thanks for watching. Check out these educational videos too.